I think it's safe to say that Xbox and Microsoft have a lot of work to do in the coming years to re-energize their base and get their console back on top. Phil Spencer is very committed to the gaming sphere, and he's putting a lot of resources behind upcoming projects. They're buying studios, and apparently they're planning a plethora of new consoles. What's going on, guys and girls? It's GhostRobo, and today we have more rumors about what the heck Microsoft is doing for next gen. Let me set the stage for you a bit. You might remember that back in the summer, Scarlet was the code name rumored for the next generation of Xbox consoles, and it was a package of consoles, two to be exact. One would be a beefy, powerful new next-gen box, and one would be Scarlet Cloud, which was a cost-effective streaming box. Well, since then, we have another rumor back in November that Microsoft would be doing a streaming box, but it's actually for this gen, and that they're also looking to revise the Xbox One S into a cheaper form factor, so they would be redoing the Xbox One S, introducing this streaming box for under $200, and keeping the Xbox One X for 2019. Today, though, we have even more notes about new consoles. Windows Central is reporting that the new code names are actually Lockhart and Anaconda, and these are the two consoles that are supposed to be released in 2020. So Lockhart, Anaconda, streaming box, revised Xbox One S. We have a ton of Microsoft consoles, not to mention the fact that they're working on handheld stuff so that you can play Xbox One games on the go, as well as a revised OS for Windows and games. It's just getting absolutely crazy with how much they're trying to pack in to the next couple of years. But what do we got about Lockhart and Anaconda? Well, Lockhart is the cheaper model, and apparently it is barely more powerful than an Xbox One X. This is basically the next-gen Xbox One X with a few refinements under the hood, so it is a little bit beefier, but basically as good as the Xbox One X, yet it'll do everything that they plan to do for the next gen. So it kind of seems like Scarlet is maybe the overall project, and now Lockhart and Anaconda are the specific names, or maybe they've scrapped Scarlet and they're just going this way. Anaconda is, of course, the meatier, bigger console that will be the cutting-edge gaming experience, as they say, and will be everything that you hope and dream for a next-gen box, probably at a very premium price. Now, they also say that Microsoft is looking to dramatically reduce load times on their games and include faster SSD hard drives in their system. They also note that Anaconda could also act as a dev kit. Now, I hope they have some more cool tricks up their sleeve besides just pure power to try and sneak this Snake nicknamed system into our living rooms. Like I mentioned, they've got a lot of work to do, I think, to catch up to PlayStation. The ebb and flow, though, is, I think, in their favor, given that PS4 was such a dominant juggernaut. Maybe there's a little confidence, maybe there's a little arrogance on the Sony side. Heck, they're completely skipping E3. And I think that is the perfect moment for Microsoft to come in and wow people with whatever the heck Lockhart and Anaconda are at E3 2019. Now, normally these companies like to go last because then it gives them a chance to adjust, update, modify, reveal, withhold, and being second in these cases is usually preferred. But I think given Microsoft's current standing, it would behoove them to just get it out there. Use E3 2019 as their showcase. It seems like Nintendo will be revealing a hardware revision for the Switch, but that's going to be very moderate in terms of how much is being done with that system. And if Sony is sitting out completely, then Microsoft can come in and say, hey, we are already a big step ahead and ready to show you what the next gen of video games will be. The next gen, the next gen. Because this next gen was absolutely phenomenal and took things to a whole nother level, but I'm hoping they can do the same. And you know what? I really hope that they do blow us away at E3 and have that be the coming out party for the new era and frankly the next decade of Xbox gaming. They have been acquiring studios like crazy: Ninja Theory, Undead Labs, Compulsion Games, Playground Games, Obsidian, In Exile. That is great. And more power is great. And technically the Xbox One X is the best box on the market, but at the end of the day, a new box is shiny, it's got sheen, maybe it's even got a cool shape. The new controller could be super cool, and maybe they'll incorporate elements of the Elite into the default sticks this time around. But you gotta have the titles to take the system to the top. And I think that as much as they need to focus on what this box does, why it's necessary, they better have some big games. They better have Halo Infinite looking real crisp. They better have some unknown titles that are exclusive to the platform and going to really push this thing. Because at the end of the day, why are you shifting from Sony PS4 to Xbox Anaconda? I don't know. unless it's games. I don't know why you would do that. You'll just go to PS5 because they'll probably have pretty close power parity and features will be different here or there. Maybe Microsoft throws a wild card and incorporates the Game Pass in more organically, and it's just a part of Xbox Live, and it's just there, and so games are easier to acquire and cheaper to acquire, and they bank on that. But at the end of the day, like, it's one thing to go and say, wow, I can try Sea of Thieves for a little while, I can try State of Decay 2 for a little while, but when these games wear thin so quickly, even if you're acquiring them cheaply, it's not that exciting. And so we need top tier titles alongside a top tier plan, alongside a top tier box. Really, they have to hit a home run in a number of different areas in order for this to work. And having a very clean slate, a very open playing field, and maybe even a kind of deserted E3 serves them very well. It is the perfect fairground to put on a show, and I really, really hope, and at this point, given these rumors, I believe they're gonna go gangbusters once June rolls around. And if they are ready for that, they've got their studio acquisitions, maybe they can start putting together a whirlwind of a plan to sort of tsunami the landscape in 2020 and maybe catch Sony and its rabid fan base off guard. It's very hard for me to see people switching over from PS4 to whatever Microsoft is preparing for these Scarlet Anacondas and these Scarlet Lockharts. But remember, this will be the first gen that Phil Spencer is overseeing from start to finish, or hopefully finish if it's successful, and that could be a very good sign. He is one of the most beloved and committed people, I think, in the gaming executive space right now, and if anyone can turn this around, it's probably him. It's definitely been a weird year for me as an Xbox One owner because I love the X, and I played Fallout 76 on the X because that's where the beta started, and it was fun to get back into Xbox, and I've been loving Ashen as of late, but other than that, there hasn't been much reason for me to boot up the system this year, and it's weird when I'm sitting out from a console for a majority of a calendar year. Like, not a whole lot happened. I tried their exclusives when they popped, but those pops were kind of small, kind of short, and nowhere near what we got from Nintendo and Sony in terms of exclusives. It's gotta change. It's gotta change, and it's not Crackdown 3, frankly. And maybe it is Halo, maybe it is Gears. That trailer looked amazing, but I'm assuming that is the holiday title for Xbox One current generation in 2019. So what do they got beyond that? Because it's been weird to just not boot my Xbox for months at a time. There hasn't been a whole lot. It's really odd, and I want to get back to a 3-horse ecosystem where I'm switching and swapping between systems. It's just way more fun that way, and it's better for everyone involved. I think that's great for the industry as a whole if we have competition and real battles amongst these consoles where it's a tough decision and the exclusives are rampant on both sides, and the different feature sets and what stands out about each console. If they can compete and also provide differences and they don't botch it horribly like the introduction of the Xbox One with the whole online-only mess that they created, maybe we can get back to a very even race. Again, as I mentioned, it seems like there's the ebb and the flow, and this time it would be in Microsoft's favor. The Switch being the wild card that is insanely successful. It was just revealed that it's the fastest selling console of the generation. Smash Brothers pushed up 3 million copies in the first week, and it's gonna continue in 2019 with all of their top tier franchises. Obviously, PlayStation 4 still has plenty of premier games to put out, but next gen is creeping closer and closer and closer, and I cannot wait. If you know me, you know that's my favorite time in gaming. I cannot wait for these things. The rumors drive me crazy because I just want to know, and maybe, just maybe, E3 2019 is the place where Xbox decides to go all out. Let me know your take in the comments down below, everybody. What do you think about Microsoft's new code names, Anaconda, Lockhart, a simpler console that sells for less and basically is an Xbox One X that does next-gen things, and then a brand new, very beefy box, rightfully nicknamed Anaconda, plus the fact that 2019 is going to be loaded with apparently a streaming box, a revised Xbox One S. They're really trying to push, and I think get a lot of hardware and a lot of newness onto store shelves to sort of shell-shock the system, especially if Sony is going to sit put and not do a whole lot in 2019, except of course probably put out a little game called The Last of Us Part 2, but other than that, probably sit in their spot and wait. Nintendo, like I mentioned, having that small revision, but Microsoft Will they be the ones to steal the show in the next calendar year? Let me know your take in the comments down below. Fantastic day, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, drink some hot chocolate. I love you a lot, and we'll see you all later.